What's up? What's up? What's up? This is JC, and welcome to the Wealth Engineering Podcast. I create content to help you with increasing your net worth, retire early, and build generational wealth. And how do we do that, guys? We do that to stocks, crypto, real estate, and business. So if this is something that interests you, I want you to click on the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. So today we have a short topic. We have a long topic. We could talk a lot about that today, but I'm going to keep it a little bit short. I'm going to have a relatively a short stream, only because in my Discord, I have one of the members who's going to give us a tutorial on how to invest in cryptocurrencies, startup companies early. So early stages before they blow up, before they get listed in coin market cap or in exchanges, you can get to invest in them. And if you're early enough, well, you can get a very cheap price. And by the time it gets listed, it will automatically be in profit. And if it blows up, you can make a lot more return on that. So I have a member who's going to talk about it in the Discord. It's going to be available for everyone. Links is in the description. If you want to join, it's at 8:30 p.m. today. So that's why it's going to be a short stream tonight. But I still wanted to connect with you guys. I wanted to commit with the schedule. We're talking about 3 streams a week, and we have the week booked already. So today is the subject is cash flow versus growth. So there are two ways you can build a portfolio. There is many ways you can do a portfolio, but today I wanted to talk specifically about these two ways. I see that you guys are already here, active in the chat. Shout out to my soldiers. Shout out to my wealth engineers. Shout out to all the new subscribers as well. Notice that I get a consistent growth lately, and that's very encouraging. Our goal is to hit 1K subscribers for the end of the year. So where it's looked like we're on track. But again, please, guys, please share the videos, share the clips. It really helps the community grow. And we're all in here together to walk that path to financial independence. So let's get into it, guys. So again, a quick shout out to Aaron. Sorry, I don't know if I mess up your name. Sorry. Lovely Valence, thank you very much for showing up and hitting the like button. Um, Hey, we'll get into that. Thank you for your comment. But you need cash flow the most. Very interesting comment. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. But also, guys, tonight I also want to do a call-in show. I don't know if we have enough people, but we can do a call-in show as well because I want to hear your feedback on that. Actually, before I even give my interpretation on what I think is better for your building your portfolio, I want to actually have you guys call in, give your opinion. What are you currently doing? If you haven't started already, I want you guys to say what you think about doing. You got to make an action plan. So all that is very interesting. So I'm going to give the invite code basically so that you guys can join in. And if there is anyone who wants to join in, give their opinion. I notice Aaron is opinionated about that. Already have his opinion. If you want to call in and talk, by all means, come in. I want to talk to you about that because it could. You might be right, and you might be right. It might be the best way. There might be also other things you might want to consider. And I want to give my interpretation about that. But tonight it will be a short stream, so we won't be having a lot of calls. But I'm very interested to see if you guys would at least join in and call. So I'm going to pin the link to StreamYard so that you can. It's going to be on the top on the chat. You can always click on that link, and it should lead you straight to the platform. Here, all you need is a headphone. You don't have to have the camera on if you don't want to. Just audio is good enough. And if you have a headphone with a mic or something, call in, guys. Call in. Hey, we already have a caller. And it's someone who's familiar with the panel already. Give me a second. I'm just going to finish with my shout out. I gotta shout out all of my soldiers here. Lindsay, thank you for showing up. OG from the Discord group, and we're going to meet tonight to talk about early startup companies in the cryptocurrency world, guys. So again, if you're just new joining in, we're going to talk about startups investing early in startup crypto companies in the Discord group. I'm not going to do the presentation. It's actually a member of the group, a wealth engineer as well, who find out this information on his own and he wanted to share it with the group. And it's going to be on a free channel. So you guys can jump in freely. There is no need to pay for anything. And then you'll have access to exclusive information that can set you well if you invest well enough and wise enough in your crypto portfolio and get there before everyone else. So again, very quick shout out to Mutombo. Thank you for showing up. Just came here. All right, guys. J Bones, I gotta give a shout out to you. Thank you for showing up early. We'll keep it short tonight, but I wanted to introduce to you guys of a member, someone who has been on the panel before, very wise man. And let me introduce to you Mr. Tim, the Intentional Millionaire. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, how's it going there, Wealth Engineering?
Very
How
good,
you
very
doing?
good. I noticed that you're still looking fit. You're looking like a millionaire all the time.
No. Yeah. So how's your day going? How's everything going? I see you out here. You really working. Can keep up the great work.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, we're trying. I really got earlier this year. I really started to be motivated with changing the channel. But more importantly, I'll give you a story very quick. I had COVID last month, and while I was very mad, like I was actually in a point where I thought I was gonna die. I was telling my wife exactly how I want her to raise my kid in case I die, in case I couldn't tell her anymore. And then thank God everything got good. But throughout that 2 weeks where I wasn't home, I wasn't doing much, I couldn't work, my
Mm-hmm.
portfolio just kept going up. My portfolio was blowing up. And it's funny because I made money the both ways. I made money from the growth portfolio. I made money also from the portfolio that I call the cash flow portfolio. So since I saw that, and I'm like, it made me feel so good that for the first time in my life, I was able to make money while I was sleeping the entire 2 weeks, while I was disabled. Basically, I couldn't work, and knowing that I got richer, my net worth was increasing while all this happened. And even if I died, that made me believe that also my kid would have been passed along to my kid. That made me feel really good, and that also
Mm-hmm.
gave me that was the major boost to some for me to start again with YouTube and definitely preaching the choir out there so that guys get investing. That's how you get your financial freedom. But all that to say, guys, thank you for joining on the panel, team. And let me ask you this: so far, I mean, I mean, I don't know if you consider you've made it, but for most people, you have made it. You have $1 million portfolio, and I can't wait for it to be 2 million. So I see what you do with your intro. But
Well, I don't feel like I made it. And the reason why is because it gets to a point where, when I look at life, I look at, because it's just me right now and I don't have any kids.
mm,
So I always ask myself, what is my true purpose and what is my significance?
mm,
See, and for me, the biggest thing that's important now is how many other people can I affect that can get there? Because that's more important, that's bigger than me, and that'll outlast me. That's
absolutely,
actually the next, I like to say, that's the next level to legacy. Because legacy to me is it has layers, but the main layer is your offspring. But then after your offspring, what are the good deeds that you done while you was here that impacted people that gave them a better, bigger outlook, a brighter outlook, and a better outlook on life? So
absolutely. I
that's
agree
kind
with
of
you.
so that's kind of where I'm at right now. And just to kind of speak to, the question that you asked, I definitely think you need both. I think you already mentioned that in just your example and what you went through, when you had COVID and things like that. It gave you a chance to really reflect on all the work that you done. Even if you didn't make it, you had something to leave on. But not only was it for your child and your family, but you still had something to leave on in the content creation.
Mm,
See, because still, that's another level. You already on the next level where your good deeds is going to affect other people outside of you, and it's going to last throughout the duration. See, and that's where I kind of look at. So when you take that and then come to just looking at your portfolio, that's why I believe you need both, because one, you need both so you have times like you experience where both is working. But what
Mm,
about when the market change or something shift? You can still have one to kind of piggyback on when the other one may not be up as high, and vice versa. So I always believe that you got to plan for both. To me, that's called minimizing the risk for you as the individual when you really look at your portfolio. To me, that's what you, when you really think about, you hear the phrase, don't have all your eggs in one basket. I think that's the real maximizer and gauge when you really think about having the cash flow and having the growth. So that's
absolutely.
kind of, my kind of take on it. I think you need both. I think one has it, each one has its purpose, but I think you put more odds in your favor by minimizing the risk by having both. Because
Uh,
the one thing we can't change is the markets, but when we minimize the risk, we can still come up doing the markets. So, for
mm,
example, if you think about just a traditional investment account, and you're also getting cash flow. Let's just say the market make a shift like it did in 2008. Well, with
mhm.
that cash flow, you can get a lot at a discount.
Absolutely.
Okay. So then let's just say now we change it and let's just say the market is up, and but you don't have no cash flow. Well, you can't even be prepared for when the next opportunity come because you don't have no cash flow to get in. So
Mm.
both has a significance and importance.
Absolutely, I agree with you. There's you drop a lot there. There's a lot there, but let me. I think someone is helping me breaking it down here. Shout out to Mister Peter Investor. The more people live you affect, the more value you will get. Absolutely, and that's where I wanted to start from what you were saying is I think I heard from someone, a wise man. I forgot who. I believe it was Ray Dalio, but he was dividing his life in three aspects. And he was saying the first part of his life is kind of like figure it out, the hustle part. You're figuring out and you're trying to solve the game. The problem is most people, they get stuck on that first part of their life. They get trying to spend their entire life figuring it out. Why? Because they either haven't focused on a growth portfolio or on a cash flow portfolio. So
Mhm.
any one of them can actually get you to wealth. The topic today is which one is better, but we'll get into that later and what I think about it. But that's what he was saying. You can divide your life in three parts. The first part is the hustle part. The second part is kind of like building your legacy, your family, working with your family and teaching them values. And then the third part of his life, that's why he was breaking it down. He was saying this is where he wants to go in the community and pass along and have a more bigger impact. And what he learned from the process of teaching his kids, applying that on a more massive scale and learn from there. And I thought that when you were saying what you're currently going through right now, that's what you remind me of. So shout out to you for bringing that up. These are great points. And tomorrow we're going to talk also about the different kinds of wealth. It's not just financial wealth you can have. There is many other type of wealth, and we're going to talk about that. But that's actually a good point that we'll bring that tomorrow as well. And then when it comes to your portfolio, I agree. I agree. There is value in having both. Me, I definitely benefit both, and that's definitely the way to go. I'll give my opinion at the end, but for now, one question I had for you is, again, you have $1 million portfolio. You're doing it all right, and well, let's think about it from a perspective of someone who's starting, right? Someone who's starting, or maybe they have
Okay.
tried different things. Maybe they have tried trading. Maybe they have tried currently saving for real estate, or maybe they're thinking about the financial journey to the independence. So, what would you say? Because it's good to have all not all your eggs in one basket, but I also believe that it's good to be focused and disciplined in one thing. And I think we brought that up the last time
Right.
we were together, that it doesn't make sense, as you were saying, it doesn't make sense to shoot to have everything like a shotgun approach. The
Hmm.
sniper approach from the beginning side could be very important. So I was wondering, what are your thoughts on that? If you were focusing on one of the portfolio, whether it would be growth or cash flow from the beginning, what would you say?
From the beginning, it would definitely be cash flow, because the only way you can actually get growth is you got to have you have to have the resources coming in for growth. So I say the most important thing is getting your is increasing your cash flow to the standpoint of you become laser focused on getting your cash flow up, and then the cash flow, increasing your cash flow and doing it the right way, you're going to have internal growth, and that internal growth then spills over to portfolio growth. Because the biggest thing that when a person is starting out is, it's kind of, I like to say, it's the scatterbrain effect, because you don't really know where to start, you don't know how to get the information. It's kind of the scatterbrain, everything is kind of over the place. So the reason why I say cash flow should be the focus, because that's the one thing you can laser focus on, and you can absolutely control that. See, once you can control the cash flow, it does a couple things. It does the layer effect again. It helps you continue to focus and show and prove to yourself that you can focus, even though you have a lot of stuff and a lot of information going on around you. The next thing it allows you to do is it allows you to become disciplined on now having a plan. Because the first challenge is, part of the scatterbrain is, we don't have a plan. So you got to now create a plan based on the type of outcome that you want. So I think cash flow is the way to do that, because that's kind of what I done.
Hmm.
Just kind of bringing it back. The way I was able to really start building out my portfolio was, I had to find ways to increase my cash flow, get rid of all debt, things like that. But you need money to do that. So I had to find ways to add on to my cash flow. So for a person that's working a 9 to 5, they got to find additional ways to go out and generate more income. Okay. Then once you get your income up, then you got to work on your income allocation. And basically what that means is taking care of all the stuff that's not conducive to the direction and the outcome you want, but then put more of your income in the stuff that's based on the direction you're going into. So I think that cash flow for somebody starting out is very important, because the way everything is designed, you cannot, it's hard to get the growth without cash flow.
Mm, absolutely, man. There's so much value you're dropping here, and you're seeing it from a very wise perspective that honestly I haven't think about before. For example, but that is so true, because as I'm going through it, that is something that I'm noticing when you said that as you're doing focusing on the cash flow part, you can also will have your own personal growth part, right? So
Yep.
these are very insightful comments, and there's a lot of things that you mentioned that we'll break down. But just before I do, I just want to give a couple of shout out already. Virginia in the house, shout out to you, J Bones. And there you go. Thank you very much. I feel better now. Yes, very important. Black legacy is very important. um, Mr. Peter, yes, we talk about that. The more people live you affect, the more value you will get there.
Hmm.
Yes, guys, please get the likes up. It really helps with the algorithm. It really helps with growing the channel. Um, Now, this is an interesting point. Cash flow equal discretionary income, growth equal long term. So for those who may not know what cash flow means, it simply means when the money that you have left after you pay all expenses. Now the advantage is, if you're doing real estate, for example, you have to pay your mortgage, and then if you're getting the income from your rent, and then you have to pay the mortgage with that per month, and then the extra money that is left will be considered your cash flow. So if you have $2,000, the mortgage is 1,500. then you have an extra $500 as cash flow. Now, the good thing about it is when we talk about stocks, we talk about cryptos, and then you do kind of like dividend or interest that you get from your investments. There is no expenses. You just buy an asset, and then it pays your dividends right away. So every money you get in comes becomes as cash flow. So that's what we're saying. And I think Aaron B said it best. Cash flow is king. Shout out to Grant Cardone. He's also making this words popular. Cash flow is king. Definitely agree a lot with that. And boom, I told you so. No worries, man. I got you. I got you. But I'm happy you get it. And Aaron B is very young, and for him to be this young and also understanding all these financial terms, I hope you're doing the work, man. I see you on the channel and every channel from when it comes to men improvement. But I hope you are doing the work, sir, because 3 years, 5 years down the line, I want to see you financially free. Shout out to you. Cash flow can be positive and negative. The key is net positive. What are your thoughts on that, the millionaire? How is cash flow can be negative? In my opinion, I haven't seen cash flow being negative. So,
Well, it could be negative if it's it, I think I for me how I interpret that, and Peter Investor M, let me know if I'm wrong, but it could be negative if you getting the cash from illegal ways or not the wrong way, or you jeopardize your morals, your values, the respect of the community and respect of others. That is absolutely negative.
mm,
So for example, if a person has to, uh you know, I just get an example. If a person has to sell drugs to the community to make the additional money, to me, and I get it because some people have to do based on what they have to do,
mm.
but the effect is that do not give a positive impact on the community. You kind of see what I'm saying?
I see
So I
exactly what
think
you're saying.
in that case, it could be negative. Or let's just say if a person working a job and they not being honest and they getting overtime but not actually working the time.
Mm,
See, that's a negative effect because for all of that they're doing, once they get locked up and get caught and get locked up, they're gonna have fines, they're gonna lose their job. So actually that's a negative effect because they're gonna go further backwards.
exactly.
So I think that's in like I said, Peter Investor M, let me know if I interpret that wrong, but that's kind of how I interpret that.
Mm,
And the positive cash flow is you want to do things that's going to allow you to increase your income, but it helps the community. It continue to make you a good citizen. It has a better impact, and you get the fruits of your labor if you're in family. Your family actually benefit. And then, like I like to say, for people that has a family, the reason why positive cash flow is still important is because that helps the family out. The key thing is when a person is married, at least from what I learned, is that it's the person that's leading's job to explain to the family what they're doing, but help them with the buy-in so they understand that it's a result for them as well and not necessarily just for the individual. Because some too many times when a man goes out and he is working, putting in the hours, things like that, if it's not communicated and the wife understand why he's doing it and the better outcome that he wants for her and the kids or whatever the case may be, then sometimes that can get breakdown and that can become positive cash flow as well, because now he's taking less time from the family and more time into the grinding. So you got to find that balance. But the key thing in that scenario is to communicate, because you can take that and make it positive. You just got to communicate it and let everybody know that it's something. I always say the best goal is to go when everybody has the buy-in.
mm.
So that
Abs-
means that, she know that it's something in it for her. If it's a man, kind of the lead on that. And if it's vice versa, it's the woman kind of the lead, and however, that go. But it's just the buy-in where everybody has to know that we all have a purpose, but the purpose is for the greater good for the entire group.
Absolutely. And again, Peter M, if you want to call in to expand on that, you can. The link is on the chat. It's pinned on the chat here on the top. So if you want to call in as well, go ahead. But so far, I like what the intentional millionaire is saying. Very wise man, and I like to learn from people like this. And I hope I can provide some value in any way that I can. I see also Lashes here. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, and shout out to everyone here that are part of the TLA YouTube Academy group. Joined this group recently, and I really like the community there. So shout out to you. She's saying also that wait, I saw a good comment there that she was saying that the cash flow has always been a focus. And if I'm not mistaken, you are a real estate investor too. So as a real estate investor, cash flow will definitely be something. So it seems that the chat is basically starting with Aaron. And all the way to everyone else, they're saying cash flow is the way to go. Cash flow is the way to go, as well as you. The intentional millionaire. So that I find that very interesting. I'll give my comment at the end, but before I do that, I'm trying to see if there is anyone else that wants to join in and share their opinion as well. So Peter Investor M, I was talking in terms of accounting. Very interesting. Call in. The link is here. We don't have to have the camera on. Just I wanted you to expand on that. I'm very curious in what ways. As an account, if you're talking about in accounting, we want to learn from that too, because that's something I'm very curious about. But you said that, but I like your take on negative cash flow. Yes, there is many ways you can see it, and I definitely agree. Definitely agree with the intentional millionaire. And you can see the way he thinks. He doesn't just think on one layer, not just the one layer. He thinks on how what we're currently doing in this layer affects other layers, and you can
That's
see where
right.
he's at in his life. And he mentioned that earlier. He's thinking a lot on the impact of the community. I like his awareness where he is, so that's why he sees it that way. But I totally agree with you. One point of my life, I hope to be just like you, man. But as of now, I guess I'm focused, zero down, focus on that portfolio, and hopefully I can get it in the millions, and hopefully I can bring you guys with me in the chat. So make sure you hit the like button, and if you're just joining in, guys, this stream will be fairly short because we're going to have a presentation in my Discord group about how to invest in crypto companies very early on, so that you can basically buy the shares of the equity in this company before the masses, before it get listed on public exchanges. This is how the wealthy get even more wealthy. This is how the rich get richer, is because they get access to insiders information before anyone else. And now with the technology of cryptocurrencies, these opportunities are becoming more decentralized, more available to the public, and we just have to make good of it. So again, thank you for your question. Thank you for your feedback, the intentional millionaire. I learned a lot, and I guess I'll mention right now my. Oh wait, sorry, said that house hacking is my niche. It's definitely cash flow. So for me, the way I think about it, guys, is I love cash flow. Cash flow, I agree with the word cash flow is king. Where's Aaron? Where's Aaron? Still here, my friend? Where is he? Cash flow is king. I agree with that. Growth portfolio, on the other hand, um, can be very interesting. And I guess it depends on the market. That's where, to me, that's what the it comes down to. It comes down to first where you are in your life. If you are someone who's just starting, and it also comes down in the market. Now, I like what the intentional millionaires say, because if you focus only on one strategy, let's say cash flow, in the right market, you can actually get two at the same time. And I'll give you an example. Um, Cryptocurrencies. Shout out to have a new member in my Discord group. I don't know if he's okay if I say his name, but shout out to the new member in my Discord group. He just signed up yesterday, and he was a referral from the Beautiful Lie. Beautiful Lie was mentioning me on his channel. He heard about it. He's from New York, and he definitely signed up with the course, and he enjoyed it. He already, this guy listened to the course on almost 2x speed, and in within like couple hours he was already telling me everything about the course. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, shout out to him. And basically,
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. And yeah, he was basically saying, it was basically going to that it's realizing the importance of being in the right market, and it's not necessarily which strategy you are, but you can also actually have both if you focus on the right market. So um all that to say, guys, in cryptocurrency right now there are booms and busts. Even though we may be in a bust by the end of next year, but throughout, when you look at the trend, when you look at the uncontrollable forces that can affect your wealth, the trend of crypto is still going up, and that is in itself a growth, a market that is growing. The entire market sector is growing. So even though you might have you select a cryptocurrency specifically for growth, or you select one specifically for cash flow, the entire market is growing at a fast rate that is going to replicate what a growth portfolio would have done. Now, I'll give you an example on the other side. If you're in the stock market, for example, or if you are in the real estate market, well, real estate market, you're mostly going to focus on cash flow. But let's say stock, for example. Stock, you may go with the traditional stocks that are paying a dividend. They're very conservative. They don't fluctuate much. They're pretty stable. But when you go on a growth portfolio like Tesla, or we have a new IPO this week with the electric car company Rivian. So things like this would be on a growth portfolio, right? Because they have the potential to grow very fast, but are something like this is very risky. They don't necessarily guarantee that it's going to grow that fast, and it will take you still a large position on it to get the real growth effect on it, right? When you're starting first, you might be not ready to handle the dips as it being fluctuating much. So from the perspective of someone who's new, that's what I definitely agree with you. Starting with the cash flow stable, you get that cash flow going, you get motivated by that, you see the money coming every quarter or in crypto every day, and then that gives you the boost to, and you take some of that money if you want, and maybe you start a separate portfolio. But I think also, guys, in the right market you can actually get both, and this year has been a testament of that for me in the cryptocurrencies. Right now I'm up 947% on my portfolio despite the dips. I'm getting cash flow every day. I made a stream about how to get staking in cryptocurrencies, and guys, so if you're not sure how to do it, check out that stream. But guys, you can have both. But if you had to focus on one and you don't want to go in crypto, I agree with the intentional millionaire. Cash flow is king. Focus on that, and slowly but surely it will build up on itself. And compound effect is a big thing. Do not underestimate the compound effect of taking the cash flow, reinvesting it back into the business, and that's definitely going to multiply your growth. What are your thoughts on that, the intentional millionaire?
I mean, you said that dead. That's dead on. I mean, I, that was a mic drop. I mean, that was
uh,
dead on. I mean, that's the way to do it. I mean, you stated that, you start with the cash flow. You stated that, with the cash flow, it allows you to be able to be into both, but also with the cash flow, it gives you this foundation that you can kind of take some now and still have some to put in the portfolio. So I mean, yeah. I mean, you covered that well. I don't really have nothing else to add.
yeah. Actually, yes. And just to add a little bit more on that, I wanted to give an example. And someone was asking me this morning on a Discord channel, what do I think of which one is about a strategy and growing in crypto. And he was showing me an example of a YouTuber who was sharing investment that he did in 2017 in crypto when in early startups companies. And now it was about $30,000 investment that is worth over $40 million. And he was going to exactly when he bought it, how much he put, which was $5,000 per position. He had about six position, and then yeah, that's basically gave him 40 million. But all he did was investing in growth, cryptocurrencies that wasn't necessarily paying him a dividend. He kept to it despite the market going down. as I mentioned, despite the market going down, the entire industry is growing, more adoptions, more people are being aware about it. So the trend is still going up. And that it turned of 30,000 to basically 40 million in basically 4 years. So that aspect is good. But what if you could do the exact same thing instead of waiting for the growth to happen, you're actually collecting the cash flow as well, and then you reinvested that money back into those stocks, especially when in a bear market, as the intentional millionaire mentioned, you're getting it at a discount. You can get it at a discount. Your money is buying more of that assets. That's definitely something you can look into. But something like that in another market that is growing is anything that has to do with innovation. We're talking about electric cars, we're talking about digital wallets, virtual reality. Cathy Woods talk a lot about that. So all of that is basically growing. So even though you might be one stock that is not doing well, but because the entire sector is doing well, artificial intelligence. So if you want to focus on that, that's definitely going to work for you. But I would, as a beginner, if you're starting, I would definitely encourage you to focus a large portion of your investment in both growth and cash flow opportunities, and for try to find a market that is growing so that you don't have to worry about which stock you're buying. You're just focusing on the cash flow in the right market, and that is to me definitely key, a great way to approach it. All right, all right. I see a couple of comments here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Lashes. Hey, you will keep invest. You want to call in and mention how about you about real estate as well? If you want to call in, the link is on top. And guys, make sure also that you click the like button as you come in. As I mentioned earlier, I'll keep this string relatively short compared to my other streams. It's because we're going to have a meeting in my Discord. Someone is presenting about how to get access to startup companies in the cryptocurrency world that are selling equity in their companies, and they're going to use your money to grow the project. But it's risky. It's risky. But should any of these projects actually made it to market, then by the time it's getting listed, it's going to automatically be what, 5x, 10x, and that's the starting point, right? So if you already are in before anyone else, there's a lot of rich people who do this through venture capitalists. So now with cryptocurrencies, we have access to opportunities like that. You just have to be aware about it. So we're going to make this presentation on the youth on Discord at 8:30 p.m. today. So if you want to join in, come join in. It's free for everyone. But yeah, if anyone wants to call in also and mention their experience with either one of these strategies to grow their portfolios, whether it's cash flow or growth or their insight. I know Peter M was talking about the accounting. I'm very curious about that. So if you want to call in, by all means, the link is on top of the chat. Come join in. And also, I see Natasha. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming here. Peter Joan. Good. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And yes, Lucid looks good. Lucid is the electrical company. The founder was actually working in Tesla, and then he started his own luxury electric cars. Looks good. Okay. Again, that's the right market in a way, because electric car is the new trend. So from that perspective, it is. But if you already started and you're focusing on that for growth, go for it. If you're not starting, or if you're just about to start, I would look into something more, even like Apple, for example. Apple pays dividend, right? It pays dividend, and they're still estimating lots of growth for Apple, and they're heading towards the new millennia in a way, kind of like the next level of technology.
Mhm.
We're moving from, I don't know if you heard about that, TM. We're moving from the phone to glasses. We might replace the phones with, everyone's gonna wear glasses. So do you look good in glasses, the intentional millionaire?
That's all I wear outside is sunshades.
Oh,
Um, but that's why at my believe it or not, that's why at my age, I don't wear glasses. Is because I normally always have on sunshades. So
good, good, good. Yeah, I think I have you on IG. I see the post. I see the post. Man, but you're looking good, man. I don't know what you do, man. I don't know if it's the diet. I don't know if it's the
It's actually
time.
it's the diet. Since I became vegetarian, I put on about 7 pounds of muscle.
Wow. Okay, vegetarian, and you still
Yeah.
putting up muscle.
Mhm.
Well, and I guess you go to the gym regularly too, right?
Yeah, I go to the gym about 4 times a week, sometimes 5, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Yes. Hey man, I back in the day I used to do that, but now I gotta work a little bit harder. So but
Right.
don't worry. That my goal in life, guys, is to grow up to be just like the intentional millionaire. To to make the million with intention. Hey guys, hey Peter M, Investor M, you don't want to call in again? You don't have to have the camera on. Just calling in. The link is up there. I really want to hear your feedback about the accounting perspective from cash flow. Maybe we might all learn about it. Uh, but yeah, I'm very curious.
Yeah, I'm
Let-
interested too. I would wanna know, his perspective on that.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting. Because honestly, since I've been doing the cash flow investing, I've only seen upside.
Right.
I've only seen upside, but yeah, very interesting. Hey, I see someone else joining in. Let me invite oh, it's Lashes. Let me know if you're ready, Lashes. I can't see, but all right. I'll invite you anyway. How are you doing? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Just a moment. Let me go to a quieter room.
Oh, no worries, no worries. We'll be here. We'll be here. We'll hear what you have to say. But yeah, from the perspective of real estate, guys, you can still generate cash flow. And I, to be honest with you guys, this is not something I have done before. I've When I did real estate, the strategy that I've done, and again, it's always how you start, right? So for the strategy I have done when I do real estate was I find a property, I find a good deal, but I don't have enough cash to actually buy the deal. So I give myself 2, 3 weeks to find an investor. I'm like, hey, look at this great deal. I put my name on the lease. I tell them, don't worry, 3 weeks from now, I'll give you the money. And then I go find an investor, and I'm like, hey, this deal is looking good. And I actually sell them to them maybe at $5,000, $10,000 more than I would actually get it, and collect the money in between. And that's basically how I would do real estate until I build up my portfolio to start and invest heavily on multi units parts. So that's basically how I started in real estate. But I'm curious to see if Lashes, are you ready? Or
Yes, I'm kind of ready. I have a
so
bunch of
how's real
kids,
estate
so
going for you?
they're always making a lot of noise. Oh, it's been going great. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Miss
Good evening.
Lashes,
Good
how you
evening.
doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Yes, yes. I noticed. Are you having a new build going on?
Yes, the thing is, I'm buying one of the unit. It's 5 units, so I'm buying one, my cousin buying one, and then three other people. It's
Mm.
three bedroom, three baths. It's gonna be an Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's like my sixth property. I just
So that's just
started to.
So that's your cash flow strategy, basically renting it on an Airbnb level and kind of partnering with your own family. So the wealth is basically staying in the family as well. I like this strategy, and yes, having the plan to do the cash flow through that, it's definitely working for you. But so how is the new build going so far? Like, is it stuck? Is it happening? Or when is it going to be over?
It's a lot of delay. It's our first new build. It's a lot of delay because the deadline was August 15, and then they said October. Then they push it back to December 15. So let's see. It's a lot of delays and a lot of you know. So I'm not buying no more new build.
I see, I see. But let me ask you this. So you have is that going to be your first cash flow investment, or have you have other cash flow investment in real estate before?
Yeah, this one actually gonna be my sixth one. I have quite a few. Hmm.
Wow. And I noticed you were mentioning in the chat you were doing a house hacking.
Yeah, that's
So
what we
is that
do.
how you grow up your real estate
Yes.
portfolio all the way to six? How long did it take to build it from the first one to the sixth one?
How long it take? It take almost 4 years, a
Four
little over
years. Wow,
3 years.
4 years, six houses. Man, I gotta. How about you, the intentional millionaire? I mean, I know that you were saying that you did two types of investments, some in real estate and some in the stock market. So, is that the same strategy you do too? House hacking?
Uh, yeah, I guess you can say that. For me, it was mine started with the Roth IRA. That's how I got my first rental. And
Mm,
then from there, I saved up some more, and then I got my second one. And then after that, I did a partnership where I bought a house with a partner, cash. Um, I wouldn't recommend nobody do that, but I wanted to just say that I purchased a house before cash. And then the last one, it's actually my primary, but I rent out a room. So
Yeah, it's like, oh, cool. That's what I do too. Cause or we buy overs. I'm in the stock market heavily too. For
mm.
1K Roth IRA, you name it, I'm there. Crypto,
That's
I
good.
just put $300 in there. I don't understand it. So
That's good. And multiple
yeah.
stream of income, so you gotta do it. Now, let me ask you this: maybe for those who may not know, Lashes,
Mhm.
how would you define kind of like house hacking? Like, what is house hacking?
Okay. Osakin is basically share space where you rent out a room or you rent to multiple people living in one house. Cause all my house I'm down here in Florida, Destin. It's a lot of um a lot of foreigner come here to work.
Hmm.
So what we do, we rent. Most of my renters are foreigners. So I put two. I rent the houses. All my houses are 3 bedroom, 2 baths. So we rent. I don't know if you see a picture that I post. It's like two bunks in one room.
Hmm.
So that's 4 people. They don't mind. It's like a dorm. College student come here and work. It's like 4 or 3 or 2 people. They share a room. They share kitchen. They don't mind sharing because they just come here to work, go back home, and make some money. So they like sharing because some of them are rent by the room. If they can't afford the room for themselves, they're like, we don't mind the share space. So,
Hmm.
you know, that's how we do them. And
And
it's I'm sorry.
I
What
guess
was
you
it?
raise the rent in a way that it's still cash flowing some after you pay out all expenses, correct?
Yeah, because everybody pay 400. If you share in space, it's 400 a piece. So it's really good cash flow. People there for
Mm.
6 7 months. It really work, and and I didn't work no fancy job to get. It's like I worked at Walmart for 14 years, and I was always putting in my 401k. I was always investing like 15 18% in my 401k, and their stock because they match it 6%. They match their 401k 6% and their stock as well. So I'm always put it in there. So my
So,
first house, I bought it as a FHA loan, and I do it that way. Then my second one, a house at that one too. I was living there and I rent out one room, and then I live in 2 rooms. So the second one, I borrow against my 401k. I didn't even know you could borrow against your 401k
hmm.
for your down payment. So the second one, I get it as a secondary resident. I told the mom my mom was gonna live. I told the bank my mom was gonna live there. She lived there for a while, but she moved out less than a year. So that one I only put 10% down. So then the
Hmm.
third one we get as an investment property. So I put 20% down. I borrow from my 401k again. So each time I'm buying a property, I keep going back to my 401k because you can take out two loans. You can have two loans out at one on your 401k. A lot of people don't know that, which I didn't
Hmm.
know that either. Because
I
you
didn't
can
even know
do
that
it.
was possible. I didn't even consider that. I'm
I
definitely
know.
going to see if
Yep,
that's possible in Canada.
it
But yeah,
is.
interesting. So basically, what I'm hearing is your team cash flow, basically.
Yep, and they're all cash flow. It's a blessing. It's
No worries, no worries.
yeah,
I want
it
to give a
is.
couple of shout out, and I see he has an answer for us. Team, the Intentional Millionaire. First, I want to give a shout out to Well Talk Production. I like your work. I like your work. Keep doing what you're doing, and if possible, I'm trying to get a collab for tomorrow. We have something we got to talk about, but if you want to come join in tonight, the link is on the chat. So if you want to give your opinion about cash flow versus growth portfolio, which one is better? If you're about to start, Give us your opinion. And I also want to give a shout out to Peter Investor M. So he was talking about kind of like the accounting aspect of cash flow. Negative cash flow is when your business has more outgoing than income money. Make total sense, absolutely. Yes, we were. I guess we were talking it from the perspective of investing for your wealth, not necessarily investing directly to a business. But if you're buying a stock, so if you're buying a crypto and then whatever dividend you can get from that or interest rate, that's basically what I was mentioning. I use cash flow because to me, it's money that comes in. It's that you can reinvest. It's the cash is flowing back in your income. But it's not. But it's. I get what you mean. The official definition of cash flow in a business, yes, you can have money coming in, extra money coming in. That's the positive cash flow. And when you have definitely more expenses than you have income, that's going to lead to negative. That when very good way to understand the different perspective. I believe he also has another comment. Shout out to you for being active in the chat. If you're just joining in, make sure you click on the like button. But this is for real estate. I personally invest in raw land in an area which has high potential of growth in the future. Very good idea. Actually, that's a very easy way to start, guys. If you want to start in real estate, I agree with that. Let me give you an example. In Montreal here, there is a new trend where people are starting to go and building house away from the city, especially after right after COVID. People were like, "Oh, okay, now we can work remotely," and that's going to be the trend, I think, for a lot of cities out there. People don't necessarily need to travel anymore to go to office 5 days a week. They can work remotely. My job right now, if I go 2 days a week, they're okay with me. So a lot of people are trying to look for away from the city, and they're building houses in areas that are kind of like remote. It's the new remote economy, guys. And one good way to take advantage of that is in buying land in an area that you think there might be a highway, there might be like any infrastructure being built later on. The lands are super cheap. You can buy lands for like 20,000 more, slightly more, and you have a lot of space. And then a couple years, if there is new development, then yeah, it could be very beneficial. But it could take a long time. It could take 5 years. It could take 10 years, which, from the perspective of investing, is still short. But I don't know for my type of personality, I feel like it's a lot of time. But it's not just in the states, guys. In Canada as well, even in international real estate. That I'm currently looking for lands, the real estate developments in the Cayman Island right now, and then it's the same thing. You can buy lands cheap, and then next thing you know, they built like a resort not far from you. It raised the value of a lot of places. So look into that, guys. If you're definitely interested and you don't have a lot of cash down to buy a large property, that could be a good property, a good way to start. Because once you start and you feel how it works, then you will be motivated to do more of it. Kind of like lashes. You start with one, and next thing you know, 4 years later, you have six different real estate that you're controlling and probably taking the. How do you do that, Lashes? Do you take like the equity from one and then you put that on the next, and then now after you have two, and then you take equity from two, you put that to the next? Like, how do you do that?
The thing is, I do them. The cash flow that I make from each of them, I normally reinvest it in a new property. So I haven't done any cash out refinance yet, because I'm using the 401k right now. Because I tell you, I went back to my 401k 3 times. I borrowed from it twice. Then last year was the CARES Act. I'm sorry, I have a baby.
No worries, no worries. Say hi.
I went the CARES Act. You can take up to 50,000 from your 401k last year. So I took $50,000 out, and that's what I get my down payment for this new bill,
Mm,
because I had to come up with 20%. So that's my third time going to my 401k. So I
nice.
always reinvest the money that I make from the cash flow and use my 401k.
that
So
that is why it is important, guys, to do the cash flow investment if you're starting first, because that is a very good point right here. Using the cash flow to grow your portfolio. And how about you, very quickly, the intentional millionaire? Is that the similar strategy you do, or is there something different in how you do it? How would you describe the real estate your growth aspect of your real estate portfolio? Uh,
So I'm doing things just a tad bit different. For all of mine, I haven't done no refinancing, no nothing. Because when I buy a particular way. I'm very
mm,
picky about what I buy. Because I go in with some marks. Where I want to make money on the equity and the cash flow before I even sign the close paperwork.
mm,
Um, so, but what I'm looking to do now is talking with Anton Daniels. I'm gonna stop taking cash flow, and then what I'm gonna do the snowball effect on my mortgages.
hmm.
So that
So,
way I can get one paid off. Looking at everything right now, I probably have my second one paid off. Probably in about 3.5, 4 years, and then I take all that money and put on the next house, and so forth and so on.
hmm. Interesting. I haven't heard that before. Snowball effect, but yeah, that definitely going to have kind of like a compounding growth effect over
hmm
time. I
So that
see that.
way outright
Sorry.
own the house, and then I still had a cash flow. So that reduces my interest that I'm gonna pay back to the bank. In the process, what I have done on the back end to keep, my money together for my next rental property is I just continue to cut back on unnecessary expenses.
Hmm.
Um, and just always try to look at always having at least 20 to 25% readily available for the next opportunity.
Hmm. Yeah.
that's a great way. Cool.
Mhm.
Yes. I see that we also have another caller. Let me invite the new caller in. Um, Let me see. And we're almost done, guys. We're almost done. Like I said, I'm going to keep this stream fairly quick. We're at 8:30. We're meeting in my Discord. So, but I definitely wanted to invite Wealth Talk Production. How are you doing, sir? How are you doing?
Hello, guys. How are you guys doing today?
Very
What's
good.
going
Very
on,
good.
Wally?
What's going on, Touch a Millionaire?
How you
It's,
doing?
I'm doing good, sir.
it was so funny this morning. I think we were talking in the chat from the lead attorney, and then I
Yes,
was talking to Well Talk Production. I was talking to Wally, and, and then it turns out to be the same person.
yes.
Yeah, that was funny. I believe you said you were Asian as well. Is that correct?
Yes. I'm born in America, but my parents are Haitian.
Of course, no worries. Yeah, me too. I'm born in Canada, but my parents are Asian. I think
Yeah.
the only difference is I end up going there because they noticed that I was going to be a bad kid, so they figured if they ship me in Haiti, the correction center,
Oh,
I'll raise out to be a good kid. So that's the difference. But let me ask you this: so, where are you right now in your financial journey? Are you looking into the journey? Are you starting it? Are you almost ending it, or are you like in the millionaire status? Like where are you in this range?
mostly beginning it. I really haven't known too much of this, like most other people in my age range would know it. So
Mm.
this is why I built my channel because I look at me as being a rookie, trying to teach other rookies that don't know about wealth any much more than I do, and
And
then
you guys are
building a
learning
community off of
together,
that.
I see.
Yes, exactly.
That's a good way, and to be honest with you, that's one of the reason too that I started my channel too, and do the podcast, because I've started already, so I can teach people how to start that part because I've done that and I've done so many mistakes, so I can guide someone on just the starting part. But when it comes to the end part, I like to learn from people as well, and especially when we have people like the intentional millionaire who have gone through the journey, who have gone literally, and we have a podcast. I invite you all to listen to it as well. But you've gone from the whole range, guys, from very humble beginnings all the way to like to be able to say every video I have $1 million portfolio with a big smile on his face. And look at him. I think every day he's looking younger. That's what happens when you have a cash flow portfolio, guys. When you sleep well, making money in your sleep, it's like having extra vitamins, that's keeping you younger.
Yep,
So
that's what
that's
you.
what it does. And I really encourage you to keep going on that path, inviting people, learning from them, listening to them as well, and go from there.
Yep, that's what happens.
So
That's what
so
happens
let
when
me
you got
let
the
me
four.
so let me
Oh,
ask you this. So you said that you're in the starting. So you understand the difference between cash flow and focusing on growth. If not, let us know. We can clarify that. But
yeah.
in your opinion, what would you say would be the best way for you to start? Where you would
Well,
focus your energy on?
okay. Well, real quick, because I don't know what terms you guys went into, so let me know the terms of the cash flow and growth that you guys went into.
So let's keep it simple. Basically, if you're investing, whether it's stocks or cryptos or anywhere that you real estate, we have two people here that invest in real estate on a panel. It's
Right.
basically you invest in something that keeps paying you every month. For example, it keeps paying you
All
every month,
right.
every quarter. In crypto, it could be every day. Or you focus on something, it doesn't necessarily pay you right away, but if you hold it long enough, then you might get a 10 times your money, you might get a 5 time your money. So but that growth may be more than the cash flow growth, but it's still growing. But it could also be a risk. It could, let's say you're buying a stocks and then you think it's going up and then it's not going up, then you didn't make money now and you did not make money in your future. So in your opinion, hearing these two strategies, and you can also replay back and when you have time to hear what our opinion about it. But in your opinion so far, like what were your conception of building wealth so far?
Well, based upon those two definitions, because when you have it on the when I went in and I seen that you guys were discussing these two topics, I had to look it up myself. This is why I asked before I questioned because I didn't know what y'all was going with. But based upon those two strategies, I would go with cash flow. It seems like the more safer bet than growth because you don't really know where growth. Because really, when you think about growth, that's more of a 50-50 transaction of it may go, it may not. So, yeah.
Hmm. I agree. I agree. In many ways, growth can be risky. There's many things we can do to evaluate, estimate, or reducing the risk. Kind of like I think Peter M. Investors was talking about that for real estate, for example. You might buy a land. The land may have a potential to 10 times your money, but you would have to make your research about what makes you believe this land will have the potential to grow in the future. And if you're wrong, then you're just buying a land, it stays a land, and it's very hard to sell. So that's the bad side. But if you're right, then let's say a mayor has planned to expand the city. Your land is not too far from the city. There you go, right then and there. You have a gold mine in your hand, and you can even build a cash flow property on that land. And that you basically made the growth both ways. You made the growth from the growth of value appreciation from the land, and then from building real estate. And that could be your first house, and then you're going to hack other houses just like Lashes is doing. So it could be very interesting, but there are ways research that you have to do to limit your risk. And when you want to go with growth of anything, growth stocks, growth cryptocurrencies, growth in real estate, you have to do your due diligence, your research to make sure that you have a good thesis on why this is an investment that's going to bring you money in the future. And that's the part that people are neglected, especially in the beginning part, which is why the safer route is to go with the cash flow, and at least you have the potential for growth, but you also have making money on a monthly or quarterly or yearly basis. But Tim, do you have any opinion on that? You wanted to add on that as well?
Yeah, actually, I do. Just now you talking about, it, and I'm now thinking of it. The next big thing to growth is really the question of timing, right? Because growth is basically based upon time. Because with time, you don't really know what's gonna be. Because next day you may be on the high road, but then give it a week or two, maybe a month, it can be on a whole different page. right? So I think time is another component to the discussion of cash flow or even then growth.
Mm, absolutely. And I'm not sure if and the intention millionaire, I was going to ask him his feedback, but prior to that, let me give a quick shout out. Hoop Jargon, how are you doing, my friend? How are you doing? Happy to see you here. Make sure you click the like, subscribes, and hopefully one day we can invite you on the panel as well. I want to hear what you have to say, but I'm happy to see you here. Very well. And Peter M, shout out to you as well for this comment and really appreciate it. Shout out to the intentional millionaire who has done the work and the blueprint to get successful portfolio. And again, I really want to say thank you for coming in, because you putting yourself out there, like you could have made it and then just stay quiet and enjoying your life, Puerto Rico or someplace like that. But for you to actually putting the work, putting yourself out there, mentoring people on how to achieve the same, reducing their learning time. We were just talking about time, and mentoring people to do that. Shout out to you, the intentional millionaire, and thank you for your work. And I was saying, do you have any opinion about what WTP was mentioning?
No, I think he hit it dead on, especially from, him coming from speaking to, the person that don't know where to start, or, kind of just really gathering this information initially. I think he's dead on. I mean, that's really where it starts at. It starts like like Wally's doing right now. Really, putting himself out there, being honest with himself, to know that it's still other information he have to go gather. I like to always say he's in the best phase right now because he's in the seeking the heat phase. Meaning he's not running from or using anything outside of him as the reason. He looked in the mirror and said, "Hey, I don't know this stuff, so I'm gonna go get around people and I'm going to absorb the stuff that applies to me and throw away the bone." See, he's not caught up on the messenger. He's looking for the message. And that's the best space that we all need to continue to operate in. See, and I can say that even with Miss Lashes, she's on a lot of platforms as well. Believe it or not, she has a very big portfolio as well, but she's out seeking the heat, continue to get better. See, and that's what we all have to do. Even you're doing the wealth engineering, you got provide a platform where you bringing a lot of us together to continue to feed. And that's what that's where it really all starts. The continued growth, because the brain is a muscle, and if you don't use it, it's going to atrophy.
Absolutely, you can have growth in
Agree.
many sector. And actually, I think I'm going to close the stream because it's almost time for us to go join. If you're just joining in, we're going to make on the Discord group. The link is in the description below. You may join if you want to, but we're going to make a stream on the Discord about how to invest in cryptocurrency early startup companies, and they're going to take your money and go and grow a project. And if you're early enough, you can buy equity in this company at a very early stage. And by the time it get listed on the market, you can already grow your portfolio very much. But there is a level of risk. It's not for everyone. But at least get yourself educated to understand how it works, how you can do it, and when you're ready, you might make you might make this decision. But I'm going to close the stream. I just wanted to give maybe the last words to the panel. I'm going to start with Lashes. But yes, I'm very happy, guys, for joining. Thank you for joining in, guys, on this panel and sharing your opinion about growth versus cash flow. And I'm happy to see that, just like the chat, the investors here are all in favor of cash flow, and we'll go from there. So, Lashes, do you have any last words before we close it?
Any last words? Let's see. What I would say. Just anybody just starting out, just keep investing, and make that your priority. If I say that right, priority.
Yeah. Yes, you have.
Yeah. Just make investing a priority, and keep investing, because that's the only way to go, whether in real estate, stock, crypto. That's the only way you're gonna get there.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with this more. And be laser focused, especially if you're starting. If you're starting, if you're young and you're starting, if you're in your 20s, I would say obsessed with it. I was obsessed in my 30s when it comes to investing and learning any way I can. In the new age of internet, YouTube, you can access a lot of information that used to be very exclusive, guys. Not even 5 years ago, it used to be very exclusive, and now you can access it for free. YouTube University, don't underestimate that. How about you, WTP? Is there any last words? And hopefully we can talk to more about that stream. But for now, is there any last word that you have on the subject?
Well, I just came in late, so I really haven't get a chance to hear everything. I'll probably rewatch this, but my main thing is this. As far as just anyone that's young, the best thing you can do is align yourself with someone that knows something that you don't know, and get it going as fast as you can to understand what you don't know. Because I mean, for me, I say it like this: when it comes to me and my family, if I had to pick on who amongst my parents had better understanding of just having wealth, or in the simplest of terms, my mother had it better than my father did. Right? She knew the emergency of having a safety net and everything else of that nature. But in that same sense, I can also say, and she always be pushing him to get a savings account for us, as far as me and my siblings, right? Because she only was able to build on. I mean, them alone were able to build on one of my brothers, but at least I say it like this. I'm not gonna go too deep into that, why it didn't happen for the rest of us, but basically all I'm saying is, when the parents don't have a foundation to teach their kids about savings, or even then teaching them lessons of whatever they know as much as they can teach you, it then puts worry onto the person that eventually now has to touch on wealth and figure out what to do with it to then better themselves for later on in life. Because when you don't get a handful of what you need to know, then you're lost. Because, like I said
Hmm.
before, I've never knew about credit. The moment I found out about credit was because me and my mother and my sister, we had went to a housing program, and there was a guy speaking on credit. If I never went to that class with them, I would have never known nothing about credit score and how high it goes, or what to do, as far as just obtaining it, and then etc. etc. So I mean, best thing I can probably say for anyone that's watching, as around me, that's as young as me, is get the knowledge and build on it as fast as possible.
Absolutely. Knowledge is powerful, but applied knowledge is true power. And you said it, you couldn't have said it any better. Putting yourself next to someone who knows it, next to someone like the Intentional Millionaire, whether it's just go to his channel, subscribe, hit the bell so that you could be aware wherever he releases a video. If you're in the States, definitely want to hear this man's advice. The same things for Lashes as well. She's a avid real estate investor, always show giving your values out there. So make sure you guys go subscribe to the channel as well. I'll put a link if you're watching this on replay. I'll put a link on the description to where you can find the channel. And same thing as well with Well Talk. And we'll talk about that. I'll leave the link for your channel as well. But I want to see a couple shout out before I give the last words to the Intentional Millionaire. Shout out to you, Peter M. Thank you for being very active in the chat. Thank you a lot. Shout out to you, Wealth Engineering. Thank you for live on crypto staking. Very informative. Yes, and it's not going to be me, guys. That's the thing. It's not going to be me. It's going to be someone that took the course with me to learn about cryptos and went and did his own research and tried it. And now he's going to teach me on how to do it. So for me, that is something that makes me feel so good that, hey, now I'm actually learning from people that I used to teach myself. And I want to share and invite that to you open as well. So you guys can join and let me know. And so is Hope Jargon saying that is going to join earlier. Absolutely. Can't wait to have you. DJ Flip, nice. Thank you for showing. Definitely soldiers here. And and yes, oh, we got another Jonathan Baronville. Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing? I believe I sent you an email, but I lately have noticed that I've got emails that are been stuck and that are going straight to people's spam. So you might notice that, but I'll try to send you a new email on another place. Says, are you on Binance Smart Change? If you are, what's the address? I would love to send you some cryptos. Yes, absolutely. Don't worry. When I'll bring when I'll be ready at some point to start sharing address for people to send. I'm trying to wait for 1K subscribers and be monetized before I start doing that. But there's no rush. There's no rush. I'm here. We're here. We're doing this out of love. We're doing this out of passion. I'm doing this mostly to educate people, to get people on board, guys, to get people on board, start investing. We invited the Black Traders Club founder on a panel one day, and he said that he started investing in his 20s and he's planning on retiring next year. He's not even 40 yet. And I'm telling you guys, if you do it right on the right market, you can even do it in less times. In less time. So get yourself educated, guys. That is mostly important. And that's why I'm doing this. That's why I like to invite people like the Intentional Millionaire on the panel so that he can teach and share his wisdom as well, because he sees it on a different perspective. Remember, guys, he's done the entire road. So looking back at the road, he can see it at a different perspective. We did a stream on coach and financial coaches as well, and understand the difference between a mentor and a financial coach. And you can see from his perspective that he has done the way. So I definitely value his input. I can stay on this live, but please send me the address. No worries. I'll contact you later. No worries about that. Yeah, sorry. It probably went straight on spam, but we'll talk. We'll talk. We got stuff to talk about. But anyway, that's basically it for me. I wanted to mention the Intentional Millionaire. Do you have any last words before we close the stream?
And the only thing I want to say is first, thank everyone on the panel, thank everyone in the chat, because you all could be doing something else, but you decided to plug in to learn something else, to be open-minded, to gather whatever you can gather for you. So I want to first congratulate everyone on the panel, on the chat. But I want to say for anybody starting out, for the younger person starting out, first thing is just get laser focused on, the outcome that you want. Then write down all the people that you communicate with. Cut off everybody that does not meet that goal. And when I say cut off, that don't mean not talk to them. That means you reduce your conversations, you reduce your interactions with them, because you're after your goal now. Then after that, you got to now go do the work to get there. And there's no discounts and there's no shortcuts. And then for the middle-aged person that feel like time has got away and they really don't have no way forward, well, you have to do the same thing. The good thing is you have wisdom on your side. So now just sit back and reevaluate what you want, because normally you let life kind of take its toll on you a little bit. You got away from what your goals and dreams are. So now sit back, reevaluate. Then take some of that wisdom that you have. You can actually do it faster because you done been through a couple of things. And now just stay focused and then really start plugging into some people in your circle that can give you the information that you're looking for. And when you do that, your goals can become a reality. Your dreams can become a reality. And there's enough piece of the pie for you to get what you want and still be able to help others in the process. And that's all I have from the Intentional Millionaire.
Shout out to you, the Intentional Millionaire. That is a mic drop right there. Absolutely. Thank you a lot for your insight. Very insightful, man. And hopefully we can have you more on the panel, and hopefully I can join you too as well. Like let me know. Let me know. We can definitely make this up. But thank you everyone to the panel. Tune in tomorrow. We'll have another stream about the different type of wealth, and we'll be featuring Wally here, WTP. We'll be talking about that. So and also, if you guys want to do it, let's join us on at 8:30 p.m. on the Discord. I'm going to one of my someone who took the course will actually be sharing some knowledge on how to invest in cryptocurrency companies that are just starting up. And I'm telling you guys, in 2017, there's a lot of these companies that were just starting up, and now they're worth billions of dollars. And how you get in good position is by being early before anyone else, before they get in the market. And the same cycle is starting all over again. There's lots of opportunities out there. But I just wanted to say thank you to everyone on the panel, and thank you for showing up. And I'll just be closing the stream for now. So, but we'll stay connected. All right.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Good night, y'all.
Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. So So that's it. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to close the stream, but in a nutshell, cash flow versus growth portfolio. If you are starting, I would definitely say focus, and the Intentional Millionaire mentioned that as well. Focus on the cash flow part. Make sure you have the discipline, and you will see you will be encouraged to see all this new money coming in extra that you didn't even had to buy it. You just had your investment is paying you. Focus more on the cash flow, and then I would definitely add an extra point. Understand the market you're in, whether it's real estate, whether it's stocks, whether it's crypto. Some real estate might be doing great in one area, and some other real estate might not be doing so good. So understand the market where you are and position yourself to make both basically the cash flow and leverage from the growth of the entire industry that you are in crypto right now. The entire industry is growing, so there's a lot of this opportunity as well, and you can still do cash flow investing because you can buy cryptos that are paying you every day. I showed you guys this in my stream, how to do staking, how to use crypto to retire early. So make sure you check that out, guys, if you're interested more in crypto. But I would invite you all in the Discord, and then it's getting ready. But I wanted to say thank you to everyone who was in the chat. Shout out to my wealth engineers. Shout out to my soldiers, my chat soldiers, J Bones. Definitely appreciate the effort. Please hit the like button. And after this video, just refresh the page and write a comment. It really helps the algorithm. And how to join the Discord? The link will be in the description of this video. You can always join in. With that said, guys, thank you very much. We'll be tuning to more, and make sure you have the time to say hi, at least if you can stay long. But we'll go from there. All right, guys. Hey, everyone. Good night, and thank you for everyone on the panel who